All right, so our next Patreon request comes from Nolan Unejo, who asked me to give my favorite talk about my favorite movies based around H.P. Lovecraft or Lovecraftian movies in general. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the second tier, that'll allow you access to do so, as well as check out all the other stuff that are exclusively on Patreon on the other two tiers as well. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So Lovecraft is a thing I really enjoy. It's always been a medium I've always enjoyed. I've always loved like Lovecraftian creatures and monsters and things like that. So I thought it would be I think it's kind of fun that like I think it's kind of I've always loved that genre. So we're going to talk about like some of my favorite movies, not in any order, but like we're going to talk about like some monster movies based around Lovecraft. Now, keep in mind, not every movie I'm going to talk about is a direct reference or a direct movie to H.P. Lovecraft. And you've actually got a pretty, it's not like with werewolf movies where you only have a set one. There's actually like a wide variety of lesser known Lovecraft movies. Here's a hint. If it's made by Brian Usna, or he had his name attached to it, it's probably going to be good. So you're going to see a lot of Brian Usna movies. Starting off, I think one of the best is Reanimator. Does it follow the short stories? Not really, but Reanimator is so good. This was basically what made Jeffrey Combs a horror royalty. This just straight up made him horror royalty, and by God, did he just absolutely crush it. Like, he more or less just made this movie his own. This movie is really cool, great practical effects, and you're going to remember this movie if you've never seen it before. It's a movie I always enjoy seeing. It's a movie that I always come back to one point or another. So Reanimator is definitely, if I was to rank this, it'd be probably really high. But like I said, this is no real order for these movies. So yeah. Anyway, next up, our next movie is another Brian Usna movie, From Beyond. From Beyond, I love this movie. It's another Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton stars in this movie, barely wearing any clothes. And also we have Ken Foray in here as well. This is another short story that was adapted. It's really gross. It's really disgusting, but it is so much fun. There's so many cool practical effects moments, and it's so bizarre. I love From Beyond. Humans are such easy prey. Just a reference to you right there. Yeah. So From Beyond is a really good one. Next up is another Brian Usna. It's just going to be full of Brian Usna movies. Just roll with it. Because he's the only one who did like really good Lovecraft movies. So the next one we're going to talk about is the next movie we're going to talk about is Dagon. Dagon is a really good movie. Does it follow the original story of Dagon? Not really. It's more Shadow over Innsmouth than anything else. It is more of an adaptation of Shadow over Innsmouth than Dagon itself. Probably because there isn't much to the Dagon story that you could do in an extended movie. Practical effects are great. There's some great gore effects, especially one kill in particular that just makes you go, oh God, that is a fatality right there. None of the characters are really interesting, if I'm going to be honest, but you're not there to see characters. Sadly, there's no Jeffrey Combs movie, which, by the way, if Jeffrey Combs is in Jeffrey Combs is in a Lovecraft movie, it's probably going to be good. Or at least he's going to be good. And trust me, we're going to reference Jeffrey Combs a lot. He was in From Beyond as well, like I said. But sadly, he's not here. And I feel like our main actor plays just young Jeffrey Combs, but not good. Having said that, it's a great movie, and I would love to own it on Blu-ray. Absolutely adore that movie. Next up for our next film, we have The Whisperer in Darkness. Now, I'm referring to a movie that came out in like 2008, 9-ish. There is a new movie that's come out called The Whisperer in Darkness, and I literally thought it was the original film. I actually came upon it. I didn't watch it, but I watched the trailer, and I was like thinking to myself, is this the same movie? because I feel like it's a remake of that one because it's in black and white and it's more about the Lovecraftian kind of like what you don't know. It's a really cool Lovecraft movie. The Whisperer in Darkness is based off the story The Whisperer in Darkness. I highly recommend it. It's a very low budget movie, and even though I think Jeffrey Combs does get a cameo role in the film, but I will say it is really cool. Like it is, I really like how it really sticks close to the book. It's arguably one of the few that really sticks closest to the book, if I'm being honest. So I really do appreciate that. Yeah. So I really do appreciate. I really do appreciate that. What's another one I really enjoy? Let's actually talk about two that aren't true Lovecraft movies, but they have the Lovecraftian feel. They're very Lovecraftian inspired, and that is In the Mouth of Madness. First one we're going to talk about: John Carpenter's love letter to H.P. Lovecraft. I would also say that, like, if you want to talk about Lovecraft, like, you could have this whole End of the World trilogy, if I'm being honest. Prince of Darkness and The Thing and In the Mouth of Madness are like a trilogy of like world-ending movies. And they all have a Lovecraftian feel. Like, they all feel like even though, yes, Prince of Darkness is more about the devil and everything else, but it's all about the unknown and trying to quantify that. So I would even say The Thing counts as a Lovecraft movie because it's something from outer space that is like incomprehensible. So I would dare say that The Thing would also work in here. But going back to In the Mouth of Madness, that is such a Lovecraft movie without being a Lovecraft movie. It's perfect. I think it's one of John Carpenter's best movies that no one talks about, which kind of sucks. It's a phenomenal film. I really enjoy it. I think it's just a solid picture all around. Anyway, the next one is The Void. The Void is from Stephen Kostansky, who has done Psycho Goreman, and he's done a lot of like cool 80s practical effect movies, and this is his darkest film ever. This movie, you do kind of make the argument that like the Black Pyramid we see throughout the film is possibly a reference to Natharna-Hotep, but none of that's confirmed. I would dare say it probably is, like, because again, that's very ominous to have the Black Pyramid, that's connected to Natharna-Hotep, so I would say maybe, but nothing was confirmed. This one is a head trip. If you don't know what this movie's about, you can find it on Tubi and whatnot. It's more or less about a cult that traps a group of people inside a dying hospital, and a dark entity is slowly seeping its way through. It's a lot dark. I'm just giving you vague explanation because I want you to go in vague if you haven't seen it. Another movie I would really recommend, another solid film I would dare say I would recommend, is probably another one I really enjoy is Necronomicon. That one's a horror anthology and is from Brian Usna and has Jeffrey Combs as H.P. Lovecraft. That's another great one. It's a cool horror anthology that deals with several of Lovecraft's stories. I would absolutely recommend it. It's a great little horror anthology that has all these from the shorter eras, and it's always cool to see that. I would even argue that if you want to go by Lovecraft, Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. The animated film I thought was really good, and it is, even though it's not really Lovecraft, like Lovecraft monsters, it does deal a lot with Lovecraftian nightmares. So maybe throw that one in there too, just for a change of pace. But anyway, there you go, guys. That is pretty much some of my favorite Lovecraft movies. Oh, one more, The Color Out of Space. The Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage. That was another really cool one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what are some of your favorite Lovecraft movies or Lovecraftian-inspired movies? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'd like to thank Nolan Unejo for this Patreon request as well as continued patronage. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.